There was a period of time in Milford history that people sometimes refer to as the Vandalism years. It was the late 1970s into the early 1980s. And it wasn't an occasional problem, it seemed to be a pretty constant problem. There was window smashing, sign smashing, defacing mailboxes, ripping benches, and then throwing them into the river. And this was week after week, year after year. In just the first 6 months of 1976, there were over 100 reported vandalism cases. And by the mid-1980s, the town seemed to be spending thousands of dollars a year just replacing destroyed signs. In fact, I believe it was about $2,000 a year to be exact. And most of it wasn't theft. It wasn't organized or anything like that. It was just destruction, kind of for the sake of destruction. And teenagers were usually blamed, or juveniles, as you might expect, which could make a lot of sense because by the late 70s, the baby boom had fully arrived in adolescence. Milford had entire neighborhoods built in the early 70s that suddenly had a huge amount of teenagers. It was a concentration of them, and there were more kids in town than ever before, and there wasn't a lot for them to do. So things just kind of got smashed, like lights at Keys Field were replaced and then smashed again within just a few days of their replacement. Benches, nets, and loudspeakers were all tossed into the Sauhegan. Mailboxes along North River Road over here were torn out for kind of no reason at all. And the high school was kind of known as ground zero. There were broken locks, kicked in doors, damaged trophy cases, and even things that the local newspaper described as too sick to mention. Then there was also gravestones being tipped over and even broken glass mixed into the children's sandbox over here at the park. There were BB guns fired at joggers and pets. It was pretty intense, and people didn't really quite know what to make of it. But by the 1990s, most of it had pretty much stopped. And there was still, and still is now, the occasional vandalism like graffiti here and there in a broken window. I mean, just regular town riffraff, but nothing like how people described back then. People point to new policies, better policing, neighborhood watch programs, and those could have helped. I'm not ruling them out, but reading it now, it feels like it's probably more like Milford just aged out of it. So I'd like to thank the research of Matt Bowling for making this video possible. I obviously did not live through that era of Milford, but I found this increasingly fascinating. And if you did live through the era of vandalism here in Milford, please comment below. I'd love to know a first-person kind of perspective of it.